Welcome to Plant the Love. We are going to talk about fostering wellness through the power of natural plants and positive mental health practices. I am your host, Ashley Rawson. On our show, you're going to hear from folks who have a lot of knowledge and expertise about this sneaky little subject. If you're curious if this path is right for you, you have come to the right place. We will empower you with information to make healthy, life-changing choices. We're so glad you're here. Now on to the episode. Disclaimer. The content in this show is for informational purposes only. It is not intended for medical advice. It does not take the place of treatment by a medical health professional. Listeners and viewers should consult with their doctor or medical health professional with any medical concerns. I am not a doctor. However, we do work closely with doctors when we review medications. I do not have a medical degree of any kind. What we are discussing has been in no way approved by the FDA. What I am sharing with you has been from my own experience and research. If you are taking any medication, do not make any changes until you consult your doctor. And now, let's start the Plant the Love show. Welcome to Plant the Love. I am your host, Ashley, and this is a show about plants and the miracles that they do. And this would not be possible without our producer, Jana, and our creative director, Shannon. I just want to thank you both so very, very much. And thank you for all the love that you guys have and for making this possible. Really, really appreciate it. That's my microphone off in the distance there, if you're wondering what that is. So the National Grassroots Broadcasting Network, which is the network that broadcasts this show, actually is based primarily focusing on men's mental health. And so, yes, we talk about plants, and yes, we want to plant the love. But what we also want to focus on is mindfulness and mental health. And this broadcasting network was founded by a gentleman who suffered through some depression and actually began educating himself on the fact that there are a number of men, people in general, of course, but tremendous numbers of men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s who are ending their life. So, and it was alarming, and he wanted to do something about it. And so he started this network to try to educate people on different options for health and for wellness. And I've most definitely been on this journey for some time, but a tighter road, if you will, most recently. And blessed to know my guest, Amy Thurman, from a little girl. Amy wrote the book called Finding My Hero Within, and I would love to just welcome her to the show and we can start our dialogue. Welcome, Amy. So good to have you.
Hey, thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor to be here.
It's an honor to have you, and thank you for all your work.
Of course.
Thank you for all the hard work. Give a little bit of people a little bit of information about us and our background. We've literally known each other since we were little girls. Our fathers know each other. We're from the same small town, and dealt blows in life and made some decisions and choices on how we dealt with those blows. And you ended up writing a book called Finding My Hero Within, which shares an extraordinary journey of courage, strength, faith, hope, and truly recognizing and finding that the only one that's really going to love us is us, and the importance of self-love. And so I wanted to have you as a guest on the show, obviously, to celebrate you and the book, but also share a lot of your experience and your strength that I've gained from reading your book, and that I hope that others will gain for overall mindfulness and mental health. Thank you, Amy. Hi, welcome. I'll shut up now.
Of course. It touches me deeply that my story, just my story, has touched people in this way, and that it's literally saving lives. And so I just feel so honored to be able to share it with people.
What most of us don't realize is the courage that it does take to write this stuff down on paper, which means that you have to live it again. And then when you go through editing, you live it again. And then you have to live that trauma again and again and again. And yes, when you relive it, you've got to have tools to help you cope with walking through that trauma again. And tools, I would say in general, Amy, you've supplied so many that are in here, and you actually have sessions and workshops where you're helping people, where people have an opportunity to work with you one-on-one to better that, to better what's going on with all of us, which it's interesting. There's a scale of depression, but there's no scale for happiness.
Mm.
And I'm just going to dive straight in to some things that were remarkable. And one was that I just told you that you were talking about trying to just go out into the world and go through a restaurant, and the anxiety and angst that you were having. And one of the things that I underlined, you're struggling, and then all of a sudden, right next to you, you're struggling. It seemed as though you were going to give up, and essentially you said, "So I attempted it." You took that first step. But let me get into the real guts. First of all, you went to 6 neurologists. 6.
Yes.
And it wasn't happenstance that our lights had joined, I think, from a very long time ago with our fathers. And then as you walked through your journey and I was walking through my journey, Amy, there was a reason you went through my head to think about and to pray for. And it's that light. It's that light. Because of the suspected MS diagnosis, my 4th neurologist suggested I find a 5th neurologist who specializes in MS. You'd had chronic migraines since you were 4. You began seeing a pain management doctor. Every 3 to 4 weeks, that big old needle was inserted into the occipital area of my head at the very top of the neck, where the neck meets the head on both sides, so medication could be injected in my scalp just under the skin. I was given nothing to numb the area and could literally feel the liquid medication going under the tender skin. You walked us through that, then found out you had Lyme disease, then had to seek out another specialist, and then this is what I wrote on the AHA on page 103. This began my abstinence of prescription medications, except those needed for thyroid because mine had been removed, and my relentless pursuit of alternative, more natural solutions. Plant the love.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. All that Western medicine got me was just more side effects and more need for more medication. And so I realized that and thought, no, this has to stop. There has to be another way to deal with this. And so that began my pursuit of alternative methods of finding natural sources to help with the pain and all the things that I was dealing with. And I want to say that, as a background to my story, that I have lived the past 10 years with a broken neck that went undetected for 6 months. I have a sheared brainstem, a traumatic brain injury, a broken neck, but it took them 6 months to figure that out. And so the first year after the accident, I had to lay flat in bed for 23 hours a day. I had to wear a cover over my eyes, earplugs in my ears. I couldn't speak above a whisper. I missed my daughter's senior year of high school, my son's freshman year of high school, and my little guy's 4th year of life. And so that's a deep, dark place that you go to. I was really, really in a deep, dark place at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's something that you'll probably want to talk about here in a minute, but I just wanted to give a background to what
No,
led
that's
up to
wonderful.
all of
Thank
this.
you. Most
The
definitely. Most definitely.
yeah, seeking all
And
of this relief from all of these issues that I didn't know I had and that the doctors couldn't figure out was quite a journey.
Dr. Dory was my first guest, and she was diagnosed with MS and was in a wheelchair and did a lot of searching and seeking, and now helped herself, and now she's helping others. And it really is unfortunate that you've got to just dig and try again and try again. And the devastation that you feel when they're telling you this is as good as it's going to get. Insurance companies.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the dance, the stem cell, everything that you went through, but you were relentless to fight for your health. And so talk a little bit about that and breathing and energy and meditation and any one of those types of topics, which are beautiful and helpful.
Yeah, during that year that I had to lay flat, that I was completely incapacitated, like, I literally couldn't lift my head off the bed because it hurt so
Amy.
badly, and the doctors couldn't figure it out. And so I went into this deep, dark place that I would never wish on anyone, and I had a plan. I knew I didn't want myself or my family to live that way. Felt like torture for them, it felt like torture for me, and so I knew I had enough pain medication to take care of it, and I fully intended to do that, and that was my plan. I said what I thought were my last I love yous to my family. I went to bed sobbing, praying for a way that I could find another way that I didn't have to hurt them
Mhm,
more
mhm.
and end my life. And I woke up the next morning with this moment of clarity. When you're in this deep, dark place, your thinking is very foggy. It's very full, like you can't think clearly. And I had this moment of clarity where I just thought clearly, what if I don't have to die? What if I can use the same energy? I take the same energy I'm using trying so hard to die and turn it around and use it instead to fight to live. If I can do that, maybe I can get better. And if I can get better,
Wow.
maybe I can use my experience to help someone else. And so that became my mission, to turn the energy that I was using to fight to die into fighting to live with the intention of using my experience to help other people. And
What
so
an
that's what I
awakening.
get to do now. Yeah, that's what I get to do now. And so it was
Wow.
really a mindset shift that
Mhm.
made the difference for me. I
You said you
knew
started
that I
listening to
couldn't continue.
podcasts and different things? Sorry.
Yes, I knew that. No, you're fine. I knew that I would never be able to get better with the thoughts that I was thinking and the negative outlook. I just wanted to do something I could do before the accident. That's all I was focused on, getting my life back, becoming that person I was before. But actually, that's not the person I was intended to be. I was fighting for the wrong thing. I was fighting the wrong battle. And so when I realized, okay, I've got to shift this, I can't keep this negative thinking and outlook up. And so I knew that I not only had to stop it, but I had to replace it with something. That's the key. You can't just stop it, you have to replace it. And so I began listening to Dr. Wayne Dyer, Tony Robbins, Rumi, all of those luminaries. And I
Mhm.
came across this quote by Rumi, which changed my life. It's what my business is named after. And it goes like this: Ye who seek God apart, that which you seek thou art. If you wish to seek the beloved's face, polish the mirror and gaze into that space. That told me that every answer I seek can be found within. I'm looking outside myself for all of these answers, for all of these
Right.
people to fill these needs, but everything I need is within me. It can be found in there. If I will just look inside, realize the power that's there, tap into it, and allow it to surface, that made all the difference in the world.
Beautiful. Beautiful. But it's not that easy.
No,
It's
it's
not that
not.
easy.
It's
It's not
simple.
as easy as you're
It's
describing.
simple, but
It's
it's
so
not easy.
simple, but it's not easy. Especially when you're living in a world of fight or flight and you've got cortisol firing constantly and you can't equalize, or your body is eating itself. Your body is not working for you. There's so many
Yes.
elements as you laid there incapacitated, missing out on your family, missing out on all of those elements. I can't imagine grieving the time, grieving the loss of what your life looked like at that age. You were a beautiful, bright cheerleader. You were athletic. You were, all of those things. And then I remember seeing pictures of you just going, what has happened? What
Yes.
happened? And
Yes.
the answer was a complex answer in really what was going on. And it was your body saying, Amy, this isn't you. This isn't you.
Yes.
We need to
I
switch you. Our bodies talk to
yes.
us.
Yes, I felt like at the time, I felt like my body was failing me, like, "Come on, body, what
Right.
is wrong with you?" But what I had to learn was that although I felt like my body was failing me, my spirit and my soul wasn't. My spirit and my
Right.
soul carried me through the time where my body couldn't. And your
That's
spirit and
right.
your soul will be with you forever. And that's what I had to learn to tap into, is that inner strength that's in there that helped me get through it. I had to dig deep into all of those things. We all do this. We push all that junk down that we never want to surface again all of those traumatic experiences, all that stuff that we never want to have to deal with, and we shove it down in there so that it doesn't ever come up again. But that had to be addressed. I had to allow all of those yucky, icky things to surface and be willing to accept, acknowledge that they're there, that yes, I don't like this about
Mhm.
myself. I don't like that I experienced this, but you know what? I did. And if I can allow it to surface and allow it to serve its purpose, it moves on. Actually, I keep wanting to call you Jimmy Lynn because that's how I know you.
Call
So
me
that
Jimmy Lynn. I tell everybody from Wagner, I'm always Jimmy Lynn. I will always be Jimmy Lynn to you. That means that we go way
our
back if you know me by that name. So that's all
yes,
fine.
our bodies, our feelings, and our emotions are part
Mhm.
of our communication system. We are afraid of them. We think they're the enemy, but they're actually there to serve a really meaningful purpose. Our emotions, if we allow them to surface and serve their purpose, research shows that they actually will serve their purpose and move on in 90 seconds. It takes 90 seconds if we allow emotion to surface and serve its purpose, and
Mhm.
it will dissipate. If we grab onto it or resist it, then it becomes a hurdle to overcome. So when we just allow those emotions to be what they are, they're part of our communication system, and then serve their purpose and move on, it's 90 seconds. Isn't that crazy?
It's nuts. Then what we do is if it's a resentment, especially an alcoholic like me, you hold on to it. Then you hold on to it and then it gets embedded in your tissue and you walk around with that anger and that resentment and it eats away at you. It
Yes.
eats away at your soul. It tortures you. It's you're drinking poison waiting on another person to die. It's absolutely senseless, which is why they teach you to pray for that other person. Don't retaliate. You know,
Yeah.
this is all I can control. Not the world and its people. I can work on how I respond to the world and its people and work on not having expectations of the world and its people because those are what gets me in trouble.
Yes, I talk a lot about self-love versus soul love, and the
Yes.
self is based in expectations. It has external
Mhm.
influences. Our self
Mhm.
is based in external influences. It's based in stress, it's based in schedules, it's based in expectations, and it is fear based. It pretty much always leads to fear because you're trying to either hold up the stigma or meet someone else's expectations. But soul
Right.
love is completely based in love. It's unconditional love. There are no external influences. There are no expectations. So when you can learn to tap into the soul, who the self is who you are, the soul is who you are intended to be. And so you can become that person you're intended to be by learning to tap into the soul. And that's what I get to help people do.
Beautiful. And if you hang around unhealthy people, you will be unhealthy. It kind of
It's
also
true.
is that tap on how you determine what your boundaries are and the energy that you allow in. And on my own, with you mentioning the pharmaceuticals, I began walking away from them in July with a physician and a team, and we studied the brain and vitamins and nutrients and the diagnoses that they do for mental health versus treating and giving the brain the nutrients that it needs. Um, and so that was a long 12 weeks. And all of a sudden, my gut woke up. I had a numb gut. I had no idea that a pharmaceutical was actually numbing my own gut self-conscious. And so when that thing
Yes.
came alive, to have those feelings, what is this? What is this? I mean,
Emotions.
I
Yes.
was masking my gut instinct with pharmaceuticals for 20 years. And as it slowly started awakening, there's all kinds of things and emotions and reactions going on. And your book, I was reading when a lot of that was going on to
Oh,
make me just kind of clutch onto simplicity, mindfulness, self love, soul love, because I was feeling things that I'd never really, I don't know.
yeah. Yeah. Because they were pushed down. And then when you release that, when you get rid of those pharmaceuticals that are numbing your system, then your body starts to work like it's supposed to. Like pharmaceuticals prevent our bodies from working naturally, from working like they're
The
supposed to work.
homeostasis, balance
Yes.
homeostasis. Yes, we talked about
Yes.
that in the first episode. Okay, so I can't believe how short this show is. We're already at 20. And I am going to take a time out and take a break from our sponsor, Osity Labs, who make phenomenal hemp products, CBD gummies, CBD drops, and also topicals, which I'm going to talk a little bit about on the show. So we're going to take a break and have a message from Osity. We'll be right back.
Over the last several years, the hemp industry has exploded. And Osity is a company from the South taking charge of this new frontier. We start with our own world-class plant genetics and use organic and sustainable farming practices to nurture our seedlings into top-quality flower. Our award-winning team uses a state-of-the-art extraction process to isolate not just CBD, but other complementary cannabinoids like CBG and CBC. We remove impurities and then have our own in-house analysis team check and recheck the accuracy of our extracted distillate that goes into our finished products. Our CBD distillate is over 95% pure. Its integrity is unrivaled. We are the industry standard for purity, quality, and consistency. We have a variety of skin gels, edibles, and tinctures. Try our brand out for yourself, and you'll know what quality really means.
Okay, well, we have to wrap it up because then I've got to go do my lesson really quick to talk about the stuff. But I've loved having you on. I can't believe it's already over. It seems like we just started this thing. But Amy, thank you for sharing your message. And where can everyone? You've got tell us a little bit about where we can find you if we want to take one of your courses, because you offer amazing information about how you really can start that focus on soul love and healing.
Well, thank you again for having me. It's been such an honor to chat with you. All of my website is pretty much a one-stop shop. You can connect with me on my socials and find all the information there. You can grab my book there. It's www.getamyshelp.com, GETAMYSHELP.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing your experience, strength, and hope, and all of your challenges and how you've grown from them and made a choice to walk this journey and to help others. Amy, you're beautiful. I love you dearly, sweetheart. I'm proud of you. Thank you, and your blessing.
Love you so much. Thank you.
All right. Okay, everybody. All right, here's our little kiss. Keep it simple, sweetheart. So I've talked a lot about Osity Labs, and I want to talk specifically about their CBD. In my very first episode, I talked about cannabinoids and the importance of having hemp as part of any type of health regimen. And there are 141 cannabinoids. Only one of them is THC. Only one of them is psychoactive. The products that you can purchase at Osity Labs do not have THC in them. So the THC has been removed. And in my mind, you can think of this product almost like a vitamin. And let me just show you how beautiful and pure that it is. Almost clear. It's beautiful. Pristine. That's what I like to see. What is so phenomenal about this? They have garnered the genetics from the seed. They regulate the farming themselves, and they have isolated specific cannabinoids that do specific things. CBG, CBN. Some of them help you. For example, this one is CBDV, which is for energy, and it tastes like mocha latte. I don't think I want one for energy. It's a little late in the evening. My favorite is the Calm, which is a blue raspberry, and it's definitely a calm and mellow. Now, the last part that I will talk about is their Fahrenheit product. It's phenomenal. And I forgot to plug my computer in and the battery's going off. Please don't. This one's not open. It's okay. We'll smell them on the next one. It's going to take me a minute to open it. The other reason that I love their products, on their oils, their gels. Oh my gosh, I can smell it right now. They have a cooling gel and a heat gel. Tons of essential oils are in these gels, and they're absolutely phenomenal. The smell, it's not like the Bengay arthritis type cream. The Fahrenheit hemp cooling gel is phenomenal, and you can have hot or you can have cold, the best of both worlds. Again, Osity.com, and you can put in Plant the Love for a coupon code of 20% off. Why do these products work? Because cannabinoids are natural anti-inflammatories. And on that note, we're off for another week. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much for stopping in at Plant the Love, and have a fantastic day.